doing cargo missions, making like 700K, and it'd be kind of interesting. I don't know if I would do it or not, but I might have a loaner C2. I don't know. I actually like the look of the ship when it's not got its little fins deployed, though. Um,
That's not the C2, I think, that you're thinking of.
oh, are you talking about a Hercules?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
I got
the whole
loaner
C.
whole C. I like the look of the whole C or whatever the one that folds out. But I
Yeah.
heard that you could make like 700K in like 20 minutes or something doing the cargo missions with them. But I got loaner Hercules for sure. I just don't ever use them. Not a big fan. C2 wouldn't be too bad if you could like or not C2. Um
Whole C.
yeah, the whole C. I don't think that'd be too bad if you could auto unload and load.
Quantum fuel at 75%.
I've heard that there's issues with auto unloading, but someone in chat said that it's mostly preventable.
Yeah, I watched a video on it. You have to be like leveled out and flat and in the middle of a box and all that good stuff. But I don't know how to dock to like stations. So like if I needed to park and dock to something, I just can't do it. But
It's a little bit hard the first couple times, but it's not too bad.
my understanding was like you line up all the dots. But last time I tried it in the Polaris. I lined everything up, but like it was telling me I was straight, but I was sideways, and I was like, this doesn't make any damn sense. But
I'm going to try to go ahead and jump already because I don't want to hang around this gateway for too long.
yeah, I got it. Do you need me to go back to Stanton?
Yes, because the place that we're going to sell is a no questions asked terminal. That's part of the reason why I feel like having another person or two for escort would be nice, because then you could just have people sitting there and they wouldn't have to
Yeah.
jump.
Well, this is why like I like the idea of FPS stuff. Like if you had enough railguns and rocket launchers, like you could have like escort fighters and stuff in space, but like when you land at a area, like if they're on the ground, they can keep people from fucking with you on the ground, and then they would have anti-air so they could keep stuff from fucking with you in the air. But I don't know how well that'd work, you know. Just depends. Like you have like two escort Connies, like get two like Constellation Andromedas or something, and then they have like two Cyclones in the bottom of it, and then they just deploy the Cyclones in the little snub ships when they land, drop off some troops on the ground. But
The problem is, once you start getting that many people involved, you stop making all that much money.
yeah, yeah, I know. But it's kind of a problem that the game has though, because it's not really profitable to have groups. MMO players tend to
It definitely
chase.
is for salvage.
Yeah, but like even then, it's like because like I can go and take a reclaimer and salvage by myself and make 500K in like 30 minutes. And if I have people with me, it doesn't improve my time very much at all. You know, you usually have to do most of it yourself anyway. So it's just, it would make more sense if like if I had crew that were with me that were going and like stripping missiles and guns and stuff off that you could sell for extra money. But
Usually, the way that we did it before was you'd have people doing cargo, and then you'd have people on the reclaimer doing salvage.
yeah,
And then you'd have a box monkey moving boxes. I was that guy. I like moving boxes in the cargo hold of it.
I mean, we tried to do a cargo thing in the past, but like I could never get multiple reclaimers to work together. But the we were ejecting the boxes out of the back and having someone load them up once, but then it was like, you know, I think if you have multiple reclaimers, having cargo guys makes more sense because you don't have to stop and you can just sit there print money all day. But the when I'm solo, it's like if you have like two reclaimers, you could just go and fill one up, drop it off, pick up the other one, drop it off. Not have to worry about the cargo so much.
You can make a lot of money selling cargo from ERTs,
Yeah.
because that's generally what we do with groups. Is we'll run ERTs with the light fighters. The reclaimer will come in and salvage everything, and then we'll have cargo take away everything in their hulls.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. It just takes a lot of people to do all that.
Well, yeah, but that's the point of it. It's a large group activity. You're looking for stuff for a large group to do.
Yeah. The small stuff is like I don't know. I don't know how much like mercenary missions pay when you get to
Shields offline.
the high rep
I'd like to
stuff.
see that.
See what?
How much they pay for.
Yeah. I mean, I got pretty high last wipe, but I kind of stopped leveling my rep after well, I didn't stop leveling it, but you get the uh stop illegal drug missions or whatever, and then I started spending more time loading drugs onto ships and selling it for like 2 or 300k, which slowed down my rep grind. And then I wanted to get groups of people together to just grind rep together. Like you just share each other's contracts on a planet, and you get them done really quick and grind your rep, but no one does them, so you can't really grind it super fast.
The best way to do it is to grab the distribution center missions and just keep grabbing the ones at the same distribution center so you never have to leave.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you had like 10 guys together and y'all were all grabbing mercenary missions, then you could share the
We
rep
did that.
between them. It'd be quicker,
The
ideally.
problem, the one problem with that is it's splitting the rep, so you don't actually get the rep all that much faster.
I mean, I think it just depends on the people, I would think. Like, imagine you have enough people, you stick two guys or one guy or whatever at every single bunker location and stuff around the map, and then y'all just sit there and share missions. Like, the distribution centers get 3 guys, stick one at each distribution center, and then share the missions between each other. Just never have to move at all.
Quantum fuel at 58%.
We just had a squad of like 4 or 5 people that would move around the distribution center doing the missions. Combat's easier when you can revive each other.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really that hard against the NPCs.
It was when they're buggy as hell. 95% of the time they stand there and take the bullets to the face, but 5% of the time they spawn in front of you and dome you out of nowhere.
Sometimes, yeah. This is a crazy tunnel.
You should be able to buy like higher quality jump drives that reduce the amount of pillars in this.
Well, I think the pillars and stuff are what's gonna make the Carrack and all that work. I feel like it's gonna be like autopilot. If the Carrack goes and scans it, and then you can just fly through free.
Alright, so we're going to Reclamation and Disposal Orinth.
Good old Hurston. This is where I go to.
It's just the place that sells for the most here.
I just go because it's usually not as hectic as Brios and stuff.
Quantum travel initiated.
And I think Hurston's like the best planet in Stanton, even though it's the most terrible.
If it had less ground cover, I would like it more.
Yeah. I just do it for like the lore background and stuff. Like I want access to their blueprints and stuff when the game comes out, if it's a possibility. The
I
Artemex,
want Crusader.
yeah, well, I just don't think Crusader makes I don't know what guns and stuff they make. Hurston makes like warheads and shit for the military. That's why I want bombs, I want missiles that are good. But I don't know how that's all gonna work out with blueprints. I'm starting to play more like a frontier fighter now anyway, though. Just go and raid the armor that you want. It's so much faster. I think it's kind of crazy how some of these orgs got like 10,000 plus people in them, though. Like, most MMOs, it's like 100 people usually is the max. Like, I think 1 or 200 people would be like my limit. Like, after that, it would get so hectic trying to manage everything.
I joined one of the big, like, actual gaming organizations, and their organization is crazy.
Yeah. I've been in some of the military ones. They're super strict about everything, though. It's kind of crazy, but they also deploy, so like they'll randomly be gone for like 6 months. But
You ever heard of a game called New World?
yeah, everyone tried to get me to play it. It's not a. I don't think it's
I
gonna.
don't really recommend it. It's not a great game, and I think it's kind of going offline now. I've
Yeah,
heard something about that.
I wasn't super like into it. I kind of. I don't know if I want to play MMOs like that anymore or what, because Guild Wars 2 is the last one that I played, and I don't know if I want to keep going in those or not. It's just like grinding for no reason to level up and stuff. And the I can't remember what I
Uh,
was thinking about that other one. Some not New World, but PAX Day was probably the only other one I was looking at, and I was like, that seems like it'd be interesting. But
it looks like it would be, but actually seeing gameplay of it, it's awful.
what a PAX Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so just jump straight to the place. I'm waiting on you, so I can jump there. Uh, but I I played New World right when it came out, and that's when I met the people from that big organization. And I think we were regularly playing with dozens of people at the same time in the same call, and it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, it wasn't too grindy of a game. You could get to max level in like a week or two.
Mm.
Granted, that was a week or two of like no lifing the game, but people did
Yeah.
it pretty quick.
It's usually gear and stuff that takes the most grind in MMOs. It's like I don't know, like Guild Wars 1, you could max level in I don't know, 2 or 4 hours or something. It was really easy, like max gear, and then everything else was just like, oh, if you wanted it, you could go and get it, but you don't have to. And that stuff was fun for me. And then Guild Wars 2, when it first came out, they had like it took quite a while to level, and then they made it easier more recently. But you have to grind for gear. If you want the best gear, you have to super grind. But you can still use the worst gear and basically do just as well. But they attracted people from like World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy and stuff, so everyone is like super strict about their groups and their builds and everything else, which Guild Wars would never been about in the past. It was always like use what you want and have fun. And the missions are hard, but you can figure it out. So the community kind of died off from the original game. But
Shields online.
there's a dude just chilling.
What ship?
Looks like a Connie. It's probably NPC maybe. Pretty sure there's always a Connie here.
Comms are down. Take them out. All right. I'm coming in. I just spent forever trying to find an MMO because I like the idea of MMOs. I like a lot of the RPG games and stuff, and I want to play with more people. But it just I've tried everything and nothing really did it for me.
There's a huge container of Atrusitoxin over here.
Someone's probably upset that it doesn't fit on the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the community aspect of MMOs too. It's just the super grindy ones, just I don't know. And like Guild Wars 1, I like the storylines more. So like Guild Wars 1, the storyline was good and the music and shit was good and you replayed the storyline. So like even when you were like a super high level player, you would go back and play the storyline and find new players. And the story was hard enough, like if you were going in solo, you could get heroes and AI henchmen to help you. And you would make special builds for everybody and upgrade their armor and stuff so you could finish it. But then when you went back and tried to help new players, you didn't have as much room to bring NPC allies, so it made it harder on you. So it basically you got to interact with people and you made the game harder on yourself, but it was also like a good story and fun. And then Guild Wars 2, the storyline, they tried to do a living story, kind of like what CIG is trying to do, and it didn't work out very well. And then they brought it back later as like little sections that you could go and get stuff with, but the people when the game came out complained because basically it's an open world where you had like dragons and shit, and these dragons are the size of fucking planets, and they were immune to critical damage and stuff. So like the World of Warcraft players and stuff complained because their crit hit builds didn't do mega damage against the fucking world-ending bosses. And then they ended up caving on that and letting it happen. So now you just have thousands of people that just AFK follow people around and kill the world bosses and stuff. And then the storyline isn't hard enough to justify having people play with you, and you can basically AFK it solo anyway because everything like the NPCs will just kill everything slowly. So the storyline kind of sucks, and then there's no reason to group or interact with people. And then when you get to the in-game content, like the World of Warcraft players stuff say, it's just dungeons. Like they rerun the same dungeons over and over and over and over and over again. And then they complain and they want more harder dungeons that they can run over and over and over and over again. And then the original Guild Wars players were more like we liked storylines and stuff. We would run the storylines over and over and hard missions over and over. We would help people get through stuff. But running a dungeon repeatedly all day long is just dumb. You know, they had like one thing with that in Guild Wars 1. It was like ecto farming. It was just a map that was super fucking hard, and there was a specific route to run to farm ecto, and that's where all the richy rich guys went. But it's hard to find good balance of MMO. Path of Exile 2, I tried that recently. It's pretty fun, but it just takes it's like Diablo, but the leveling just gets progressively harder the more you go up, which kind of slows down how fast you can experiment with your builds, which I found annoying.
I liked the idea of Eve, and I kind of liked playing it, but the people just killed it for me.
Yeah. Well, that's like everyone with Star Citizen stuff. They want it like Eve, and they say like Eve's been around for 20 years. It's the best game, and it's like I remember when Eve and stuff was coming out, and they had even before that, there was always a shit ton of games that were like Eve. There was like 50 of them constantly, and people would like go back and forth between the games, and no one like they died out. Like Eve survived, but like every last one of the other ones died out because you would go in and you'd have to like level up and earn a spaceship and stuff, and then you get fucking killed. Have to go back and try to redo everything all over again, and the stuff was super complicated, and it just never stuck. So like, I get the appeal of it to some people though. It's just,
Not your kind of thing.
I mean, it could be. It just take too much time. I just don't feel like it. I'm more like, I don't know. At this point, like Star Citizen, the main reason I'm kind of like looking at it is not because it's like a space game anymore. Like the scale and stuff was big, but in my head, everyone is too focused on the spaceship aspect of it, and I feel like CIG is going to be too, and it's going to kind of like kill the game off a little bit for a lot of people. But I feel like the FPS and the survival elements of it should be the main focus because it's just when it comes to like an FPS game, there's nothing that has this kind of skill limit, like skill ceiling. Like you can, or not just skill ceiling, but like it doesn't have that kind of like progression. Most shooters, you get to a certain point and it stagnates and there's nothing to do. And there's not really that many MMO shooters. And even like the Fallout MMO, everyone wanted to like team up with their friends and go loot shit and stuff, which doesn't happen, you know, because that game kind of like fucked up. And then survival games also have like they're usually small maps. They don't have like a lot of variation and stuff. And you get bored when you get a whole bunch of loot and everything. And I can see a lot of that in Star Citizen, um, which could be really good. But I wish more MMOs played into the survival aspect more than like the grindiness of games. Like there's so many like fantasy MMOs that I think of that they have no survival mechanics, but it would make it more immersive and like interesting. I think like you have a fire wizard and they have fire magic, so that like you're in the fucking you go to a snow biome, you'd have someone that has some fire magic to keep you warm and shit. That'd be cool. But
I'm done moving cargo. All the dangerous part's over.
gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably why you were looking at PAX die.
Yeah, it's just, I think PAX Day is gonna be more grindy. I just don't have the time to put in as much anymore. But it was interesting. Like,
All right, so I sold, and I can 100% say that was not worth the effort.
hmm,
I feel If it were a little bit more streamlined and the quantum jumps weren't so long, it might be worth it. But honestly, it's just significantly less risky to just keep doing fresh food.
Yeah.
I gave you 200 grand. I honestly only got about 500 from that.
That's weird.
No, I don't.
Do, 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 do. It's alright.
Dude, I can make money really easily. It's not like a pain. I was just trying that out because I felt like it might have been better, but uh,
Launch
I,
complete.
I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I can go make some money. It's not that big of a deal. I just,
You couldn't pay for gas, man.
yeah, I bought some. Well, first, I haven't been doing any quests. I've been trying to just raid places to get gear, and then I bought some uh missile racks and shit. And it kind of, yeah, I don't know. There's that mission in Pyro that I just saw that priority. It was like 200 and something K. But I need to get some more Artemex armor and stuff. But I'm not doing the. Used to, I would collect Artemex by doing the bounty missions, and I'd wait for things to die and then kill it. But now I can just like take down the comm array and go to the station and kill and take like 20 suits of Artemex. And I want to find railguns. That's the other thing. I'm not doing bunker missions and then going in and killing everything and then looking for the loot. I'm just going to the bunker and seeing what's going on, trying to make it faster.
I hate how much stuff exists in this game that the only way that you can get it is to either pay for it and have one copy of it for $10
Hmm.
or just hope it spawns in a box at some point.
Yeah, that's the MMO element of it, though. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know about this, but it's, yeah. I mean, the fact that I can search for railguns and stuff for over a decade and hardly find any of them is kind of a problem. And blueprints will probably save some of that, but it depends on how grindy they make the game. Like, because it's like if it's
I
super
mean,
hard to craft, you're not going to be able to craft it without spending a lot of time. And if it's hard to craft, then people are going to charge a shit ton of money for it. So it's like,
the way that I see it, I don't think that anything personal is going to be all that hard to craft because if you have something like a railgun, how much resources is that realistically going to take? Like, it can't use like more than a quarter of an SCU total in resources.
yeah, but it could be like there's tiers of railguns and stuff, and so you'll have like
Shields. Shields offline.
Yeah,
really
you're
good
going to have
ones.
three different tiers, and they're all going to be made out of different materials that affect the stats. I saw
Yeah,
the
and it would
thing.
be like crafting time for like, the high tier one's gonna take like 3 days or something, and the other one's gonna be lower. I just,
If a single gun takes more than an hour to craft, something's wrong.
yeah, I just think the tier system, I'm very skeptical because like you're taking basically like a shooter survival game sort of thing, and you're putting more MMO stuff in it, and MMO is all about like gear levels and shit. And as soon as that happens, it's like, does a tier 1 ship have any chance against a tier 5 ship? I don't really know. And then they have like the big ones, the tank armor that they showed in Citizen Con,
Crafting gear.
because they're like tank armor, super high defense, and it shows them like tanking bullets. And I'm like, I don't want to be stuck on a ship or in a mission or something where there's just like a squad of people in tank armor running me down. Like, do I need a railgun to kill that guy? Because and then it's like, what happens if my railgun's shitty quality and he has like the best quality tank armor? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like to a certain extent that's fair because then you should have just got a better quality railgun.
Yeah, but I don't like that necessarily because it forces you into like I'm forced to craft or something. I'm not able to like go and find a railgun and then use it on a
You're
random
not
person.
forced to craft it because people are going to be selling all of it.
Battle complete.
Yeah, but then it's going to be costly as well. It's basically I'm getting at is like they said the best items are going to be crafted. So that means like if you're a PvE player going around and killing Van Duel and stuff, like what are the odds that you're going to find just generically a really strong railgun or something and be able to use that against people who craft high tier gear? Like I'm
I'm
not going
pretty
to be
sure they said something about there still being exclusive stuff for PvP, so you do still get things for that, or PvE.
well, I'm just talking like combat like Guild Wars 2, you could get legendary gear, which is like any gear that you want basically, and then you have like exotic gear, but like the difference in stats was like 5%. So like you could bust your ass and get a legendary gear, but you could still just use the easy stuff and win most of the fights. And then like Tarkov, it's a shooter game, and you
I know, I
have
played it.
yeah, so like the best gear and stuff on that game. Well, people say it's the best gear, but I can go and run around in my P.A.K.A. and shit and kill the people in the best gear if I know where to shoot them or what ammo to use or whatever, what ambush points. And Star Citizen, really the time to kill isn't that like long. Like you die really quick, but people are bullet sponges. It's really weird. And then if you put tiers of gear on top of that, like it's not like
Uh,
Tarkov right
this
now where you can shoot in between the gaps and kill them through their armor. Like you're gonna have to like overwhelm them with fucking fire. It's gonna take like 400 rounds of bullets.
so that's where a lot of it comes in that I think is going to uh, not really affect that as much as you think. Because from what they showed and what they said, it seems like a lot of the stats that they're going to be focusing on are not the direct damage, health, and all that stuff. It's going to mostly be like maneuverability of the ship and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like there is definitely going to be an advantage, but I don't think there's going to be that much of an advantage for tiers. I feel like there's definitely going to be a big difference between tiers 1 and 5, but if you have, like,
Yeah.
say, a tier 3, I don't think you're going to be hopelessly outclassed by a tier 5.
Probably not, but you have like the components and stuff as well, like a high-end shield generator versus just a generic shield generator that you find. Like I don't know. I feel like alien races and stuff in a game should at least have comparable, if not better, technology than humans crafting random shit. But they want crafters to be able to make the best tier loot, so crafting is viable. But like, it seems like to me that you would have crafters build good loot that can do a lot of stuff, but then you'd have the best tier loot in like really hard PvE areas because then PvE players have something to farm that they can sell to the PvP players and stuff. And then
Uh,
there's like a limit of how much you can farm versus like how much you could produce.
I
But
feel like the way that that's going to happen is all of the stuff that you can get from like the aliens or whatever are going to be a much more limited resource of like sure you can use this, but if you die while having it and you lose it, then it's going to be extremely hard for you to replace it.
yeah,
Meanwhile, if you have like high tier components, I mean, sure, it might be expensive, but you can just go buy a new one, or your ship insurance is going to cover it.
yeah. But they said the best stuff would be crafted in Citizen Con. So
I
like,
feel like there was probably more around that. I can't say for sure because I don't remember it word for word, but I thought there was more to it than that.
yeah. It's just if the best stuff is crafted though, I'm just like if that's the case, you could just whoever crafts the stuff is gonna have an unlimited supply of like the best tier stuff. If they're just gonna go pick up another one, and then everyone who doesn't have it, like they at least need components and stuff that are able to compete. But if they have to farm them in PvE, it's gonna
You don't
be
have to farm them, you can buy them.
yeah, if you have the money.
I mean, if you don't have money and you're not making components, then like you need to change your strategy a bit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if orgs can sell, like, they sell a product, they can put however much cost or whatever's on it that they want. You have to farm the money to be able to buy that. They could just not sell it at all and keep the very best stuff for themselves. And like maybe you have other orgs that will try and build something similar, and they'll sell it to you. But at any point, your supply chain can just get cut off. Like you have to have people that are willing to sell things, and I don't trust it really that much.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like you need to get into production then.
I mean, I'll try to build stuff, but I'm more focused on FPS combat.
I want to make and sell things. I want to make number go up.
Yeah. I think you're gonna have to do it anyway if you have an org. It's just I don't know if so like my stuff in general, like all of the ships and stuff that we've gathered is like they can ferry a lot of ships. They can like we can hold basically over 10,000 SU of cargo. We can hold a ton of different ships. We have like fleet escort defense. Everything's based off like amphibious assaults. So like getting ground resources and building products and stuff would be part of it, but the ships are mostly there just for like utility and like moving stuff around and shipping without getting attacked by other people. And it's able to do like refuel and repair and stuff. Like I'm probably going to get more into repair than most of the other stuff in game because it has a PvP element to it. I feel like is important. But like especially FPS wise, like knowing how ships work and where you can hit things to like disable them even in FPS would be pretty important, I think.
So you want to be Corps of Engineers.
Man, I just kind of do a little bit of everything. I would prefer if everyone could do a little bit of everything in an org, and it's not just like, well, he only wants to, you know, go and do medical, and then like someone breaks onto your ship and they're not willing to like go into FPS combat. But some people are like that, so can't really complain too much. It's
I mean, if it's what they want to play the game for and they're not interested in other stuff, I can understand that.
yeah,
Like I'm not I don't feel like it would be fair to say that everyone has to be able to do a little bit of everything. But I feel like combat in general in this game is just a straight requirement.
yeah. Well, I just think like if you have an org, like if you need supplies, it's like if you log on to a survival game and you have a tribe or whatever like Ark that you log on and your tribe needs food or your tribe needs gas or whatever, you're gonna have to like someone has to go and do it. And if someone's like on vacation or something, you can't just be like, well, he's the only gas guy. And it's like someone has to go and do it. But the uh FPS and all that, like I'm fine with it. I'll fill in wherever, but uh ideally like people that want to specialize in that stuff will buy like afford and buy their own ship for that role. Um, would be good, but
I
crafting
want
and
to
everything would be good.
I want to do basically everything industry. I want to mine, refine, create things. I want to sell them. I want to ship stuff. I want to do all of that stuff. And then I
Hmm.
also like every once in a while to do like ground combat, or I'll hop on someone's ship and man a turret or something.
See, I think those are interconnected for me though, because like my whole idea right now is that um, a lot of people seem to be focused on space and not really on ground. And then if you go into hostile space, javelins and stuff can go anywhere in space, but on a planet, if they can't go into atmosphere, depending on what they end up doing, it's the only way you can protect yourself if you don't have big ships, really. And so, ground mining and ground harvesting, ground bases, that's where you get your resources, ground production, and all that. And then you load it up on your ships and you go in a convoy, like a merchant ship fleet, and like go and sell it and stuff, so you have protection. Like if they want to come and attack you with a big ass fleet of ships, they're gonna have to send a lot, you know.
I mean, I feel like one thing that you kind of haven't been talking about much is that stand-in's just going to be a lot safer even if you're not playing in a group eventually, because
Yeah,
once they have the like police response and stuff,
but it's
it
low
should be.
risk, low
Yeah.
risk, low reward is what they always talk about. I
Well,
want to,
yeah, it's just because the resources aren't going to be as good and it's going to cost more because you're going to have to pay like land taxes and stuff
yeah.
for having a base.
So I want to see like every planet. So like when the worm comes out, I know that like PvP people and stuff are gonna be camping it and trolling and shit. But like I want to be able to go do that when the game. I want to see every planet this game makes and all the animals and shit. And I want to go like nothing is more exciting to me in this game besides like you go and do a mission or whatever. You're doing a mission and your ship gets crippled and you crash land on a fucking planet and you're just like, oh shit, you gotta survive, and like there's elements and animals and shit, but like their ground combat right now, like their ground survival stuff is terrible. Like you can't travel around because like the hills are like sticking out of the earth and you step on it wrong, you slide off and die. There's no food or
Uh,
water anywhere or anything you can craft. The animals aren't there, or if they are, they're like over spawning and they just swarm your ass. Like it's you know
One of the biggest problems that I have with stuff like that is I feel like the hover vehicles just suck and they should be really good.
I mean, they're faster than rovers and stuff, but they explode more. So it's
They
kind of,
should be able to go over all of the rough terrain and stuff significantly better, but they just can't.
yeah. I mean, they can
If
fly over a lot of it. It's just like they slam into the ground if you go too fast and they explode. But like a lot
you
of
get to one of
the,
the savanna biomes in Hurston and you can't fly over anything, you still get stuck in all of the trees. In a lot
yeah,
of the stuff that has like any sort of hill, if you're moving at any faster than a walking speed, you just slam into the ground and die.
they need to clear up some of the ground clutter for sure, though. That it annoys me a little bit because when I drive the Ursa now, they made it to where not all of the rocks and stuff are physical, so you can just like drive through them. And then you'll be driving through the rocks and shit, and then like one of them will randomly not be like that, and you'll just crash. But the same thing with plants. Like there's like I think it was Hurston. There's cactuses and shit, and all the plants were like not physicalized. And then I parked a ship, my character or something, and I hit the one cactus that was like a physical cactus, and it like held up the whole ship, and I couldn't get back inside. But
I can't wait until they add Maelstrom. Like, being able to destroy the small things like that would make this so much better.
I don't know if it applies to trees and shit though, because like they've made
They
a
said
big
it should.
deal. They made a big deal about like trees and all that because they're like it'll make too many physical things and then people will be destroying forests and stuff. But I feel like they could make a vehicle or something like even the base building vehicle, just make it to where you can go in there and then push flat land and like flatten it out and clear the trees out. It'd be fine. But I don't know.
I mean, to a certain extent, they did have that because they had the big concrete pad that you could put down.
Yeah, but you can't build on other people's lots or anything, so like you have to claim the land or something probably. But like if they just did that, people would clear out the stuff over time. But it would probably ruin their biomes and shit that they want to make. It's a long way to run.
I'm looking forward to bases, but I don't really care about base building. I just want to be able to craft stuff.
Mm. I'm hoping well, I don't know if they're gonna let the Crucible craft, but I hope it can craft a little bit. Or like at least like ships and maybe not the components, so you can like have a shipyard and ship in the components and put them in. But the Crafting. I don't necessarily like. I like survival crafting more than like grindy crafting. And so like I don't know if I would care about having a factory or something, but I want the blueprints for like I'm going after all the stuff that no one else seems to care about. I want the best tier blueprints for like rocket launchers and stuff like that, anti-air infantry weapons, and I want the best blueprints for like missiles and stuff like that. And then other than that, just whatever can happen. Like I want to have a gun or a bomb that can deal with people's ship. So like, cause like a missile, if you have the best quality missile, even if your ship sucks, you can shoot a missile off and hit somebody with it. You know, and it even if you're on foot, if you have a rocket launcher, you can at least hit somebody with a rocket launcher and do something.
I want to do like I want to make a kit of gear where I make the best kit of gear that I want, and then I want to be able to make like hundreds of that and possibly sell it. I
Hmm.
want to be able to make like ships and stuff for the most part to sell to other players. Uh, I just find the idea of making ships kind of cool. And I understand that that's going to be much more of a grindy thing, like more of a resource investment, take more time for it to happen. But like, I want to.
I think you're gonna have to build ships. It's like they have to have more than just like the Pioneer that can build ships, which I'm hoping the
Oh yeah.
Crucible can do. Because like if you're going to a planet on the other side of the universe that you don't know if it exists, and then you have to fight people or something there, and you lose your ships, you're like if you're not like somewhere like in UEE space, like you're in Vandal territory, how are you supposed to like keep your ships going? Like if you have a way to produce more stuff, or like are you gonna transport all your mining vehicles and everything, or are you just gonna like build them when you get there? Because it would make more sense to me that you'd like have a blueprint, build them when you get to the place instead of shipping them all over. And
So they did show off you can do shipyards and stuff for up to large ships on planets, and then all the extra large stuff is stations.
yeah, I'm hoping stuff like that would be. But my dream right now is that they allow like the Crucible and stuff to build something because it was hard for me not to go after the Pioneer, and then I decided against it because I was like, you got to defend that big ass ship, and it's probably a massive target and all that. But it'd be really nice to be able to build a lot of stuff. But the idea of like having a mobile base that you can just pick up and move if you're in danger is like really cool. It's like really StarCrafty like RTS game, which like I like the idea. But then I was like, if we can get large base building vehicles, I'm gonna go for that more ground vehicle base builder. Um, I don't think you need an extra large building unless you're like I don't know, like really like a really massive org. Um,
Extra large buildings are going to be stuff like the large ship hangar or like the large ship construction yard.
Yeah, but I mean that's a lot of resources if you're not a big org and stuff to build that. Like if the Crucible could build a large ship, I would prefer to do that. Like you park it in space or whatever, you build your ship there and then ship it down. And then if you get in danger, you can just pick it up and move it. Like I think ideally like
So I don't think that there's going to be nearly as much combat around some of that stuff as what you're expecting because for the most part, a lot of people are just going to put bases in Stanton and like
yeah,
myself included. I'm just gonna have invulnerability. I don't want to worry about anyone raiding my base.
I know a lot of people don't.
And like I understand that I'm not going to get all the mineable resources and whatever that the pyro bases and whatever are going to give. And I understand that I'm going to have to pay a little bit more for the claim. But
Hmm.
like I don't care. I would rather pay than worry about having people come in and blow my shit up.
Well, for me it's the exploration element of it more than anything. It's like I want to be able to go to a planet and like explore and see what's out there, and just being able to like put a fleet of ships down and build like you build a hospital, you build a refinery or whatever, you start harvesting resources and stuff, and then if you can planet hop, as much as you want just to go and explore. But like I know if I do that, you're gonna run into people that have bases or big orgs, or you go into like Pyro and there's gonna be big PvP areas and stuff. So like I have to have something that you can defend yourself with to like scare them off. If you're gonna do that, like I don't want to be locked out of content in the game because I don't have a javelin or something. But I wouldn't mind like even like flying into PvE, like going into like Vandal space and setting up a base like in the back of Vandal space somewhere. That'd be cool.
I feel like there's probably not going to be all that much that's locked away for single player or for solo people to not be able to do on their own. From what they showed off, I feel like the larger bases are definitely going to be a much higher time investment and resource investment, but they're still possible for solo people. I feel like stations are probably where the limit is of where it's probably not possible for a single person to do it.
Yeah, but is it worth it to build a massive base on a planet that you have no idea if it's hostile or not? I don't know.
Star Citizen is not going to be that big. They're not doing the hundreds of systems that they initially promised.
Yet.
Well, if you saw CitizenCon from last year, they talked a lot about how they're scaling it down, and like 1.0 is only going to be 5 systems.
Yeah. And then they'll add more afterwards. Like it's gonna grow. Oh, what the fuck?
It's going
Oh
to
shit.
grow, but you're never going to have like completely unknown. Are there going to be people on this planet or not? It's going to be like somewhat charted at least.
When did they add Copian to Hurston? It's crazy. Um, yeah. I mean, I think it's still like I would prefer still to have something mobile that you could do. Like if you're in Stanton and you gather your resources, you get enough to build your like little ground base, and then you go to Pyro and you build your base and you start mining harvestables and then move it back to Stanton afterwards. Like pirates and stuff for people that live in Pyro would probably attack you sooner or later. So like I don't know. I like the idea of like being able to have your base out in space, mobile and not stationary, and then you land and you can harvest stuff and load it up and move it back into space. Or if a javelin or something shows up, you could land on the planet and get away from it. Like I like flexibility and
I feel like you'd probably like an asteroid base or something.
I mean I I mean I'm open to it, but you can't really if like a PvP org found you, you're not going to be able to defend it very well, I don't think. I think planets are going to be more defensible.
They're not going to be able to find you is the thing because the chances of anyone coming anywhere close to you are going to be very slim as long as you don't put
Yeah.
it directly between two jump points.
Yes, like hopefully. I mean, it also depends on like how data running and all that shit works too. Like if people could kill you and like hack your data on your ship and find like your save points or follow you through your quantum jumps or anything else that they add to the game, it's just I don't know. It's either case, like I just don't know how I feel about being completely stationary. Like if there's 5 systems or whatever in 1.0 and you make a base in Stanton and then you leave to go to like another system for like a week, like your base is going to be setting there. And like if you decide not to come back, it's just it's
That's
going to
one
be
thing that I don't like about what they were talking about with the base building. I hate the fact that you have to do constant upkeep of like fixing all of the fuses and shit. That's stupid.
yeah, I mean that's like a general tribe thing in a lot of games. Keeps people active. And people like if people can steal your fuses or destroy them and stuff too, then that's going to be like a thing going on. But I like the idea of like if you run across an abandoned base though, that you could like go over and pop in a fuse and like activate an old drill or something. That'd be kind of cool. But
Anyways, it was nice talking with you. I think I'm gonna go for now. I kind of want to do other stuff for a bit. Kind of tired of Star Citizen.
gotcha. Well, just holler if you're gonna do more stuff later.
I work nights, so I'm probably gonna go to sleep in a couple of hours, but I'll probably be back on again tonight.
Yeah, I work nights on weekends right now, but eventually I'll get a second job again. But,
I usually have Sunday, Monday off, but it doesn't always work out that way.
okay. Well, just holler, man. I'll be around.
Yep. See ya. Oh, and please think about putting in an application for the guild or for the org. It's like I think that you would like a lot of the events that they run.
Yeah, probably. Have to find the website or whatever. Maybe I'll, I don't know, shoot something if I watch one of his YouTube videos. But,
I'm looking for it because they should have it in here somewhere.
it's like spacetomato.com or something. Or what is even, wait, what's GII? Is it like Garden Interstellar?
Initiative.
Oh, I was right. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have carrot tops in their tomato garden. Our stuff is StarCraft, TerraCraft, basically. But it's just like a few guys, their own orgs, kind of group up and do stuff. But, data thing, thank you. See, I need to get more into doing these bunkers. Like, stop buying data chips, just find them and use them when I find them and stuff. Live out on the land. I hope they add some cool aliens eventually, like some hostile stuff. Like, I feel like that could make a huge difference in the game. Just like different missions with little aliens running around, or even the super worm and shit. Going to a planet. Leave your ship and you come back and a Yeti's standing there.
I'm looking at it, and it seems like the website's down.
Mm. I don't know. Stuff happens, man. It's no big rush.
All right. See ya.
Alright, have a good one, man.
You too.
Breakneck River. See, so if we were able to have a medic on the team, I wouldn't need this med gun on my hip or these pins, right? And then take the Moby glass off. All we'd have is the little couple of chin lights and the 2 lights in the back of your head, and the rest of you just be pitch black. Now, speaking of Moby glass, I'm curious what happens if I take it off. Shit.
Aegis combat assist activated. System.
It says, when was there giant lights on the Saber? You know what I mean?
Landing gear rejected. Engines offline. Engines online. Landing gear deployed.
Gotta have the movie glass on. What is my rep right now? Applicant. Tracker trainee. I'm a junior security contractor.
Engines online. Launch complete. Quantum travel complete. Shields online. Weapon system. Shields offline.
Infrared at 3.8K. EM. Fuck. Huge store all crate. That's crazy. I guess if you hacked the relay, you could sit here and farm armor for a while. Sucks that I stopped playing Tarkov because I'm getting sloppy when it comes to gunplay. Like, I'm not using cover, not checking things out. Oh, that's crazy. Might be the other side of the factory. This could be good money, though, if I don't have to leave. I mean, it's only 16K, but let's go to the storehouse first. This is like 30K plus whatever armor and stuff we can get. Not sure how to, like, see exactly if the comma ray is down or not. So it looks like it's down, but I'm not seeing a no symbol. You know? Oh, they were grabbing loot out of the boxes. We see you. So you can get a lot of those white Tavaran armors apparently here. If you could get a ground vehicle in here, that would be the way to do it. Ground vehicle and then just farm all the armor. Toss it in. We might have to test that. Grab the ass. Oh, that's weird. Picked a grenade up off of his body or whatever. But we should be able to just sit in here and farm armor, though. For money. Contracts. Yeah, because we got another one right here, Farms Way. Try to do one more. A lot of shotguns. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, we could do that mission over and over. Wouldn't be too bad. 20K just to sit and shoot stuff.
outside. It's always fucking hot.
These Japanese kids don't get a snow day. That little boy saying he's scared, and the dad's like, I shoveled you guys a path. You got this. And the mom is in the background just cheering them on, like, you guys got this. Oh my god, this is completely mind-blowing. Anyways, what are snow days like for you in your country?
I don't know how you guys would clean this up, but as for me and my house, that was $20 worth of laundry detergent, and it ain't going away.
Oh shit.
Did you know if you add one mashed banana, peanut butter, and maple syrup to a bowl, stir it up, then add in oats, dark chocolate chips, and chopped peanuts, then pop them in the oven for 10 minutes, you will have just made the softest and most delicious refined.
Well, I know now. Give me 50.
Let's see if it is not weaker than before.
Oh, I get huge charges running away. Ouch. Let's see if it is not weaker than before. Well, it's not weaker. It is not stronger. Oh, I get huge charges running away. Ouch. Let's see if it is not weaker than before. Well, it's not weaker. It is not stronger. Oh, I get huge charges running away. Ouch. Let's see if it is not weaker than before. Well, it's not weaker. It is not stronger. Oh, I get huge charges running away. Ouch. Let's see if it is not weaker than before. Well, it's not weaker. It is not stronger.
Feeling ready to get back to work?
Oh, I get huge
Ask your doctor or pharmacist how to taper your medication dosage to help you return to the job in record time.
Well, it's not weaker. It is not stronger. Oh, I get huge charges running away. Ouch. Let's see if it is not weaker than before.
Attention all Hurston Dynamics.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
Oh, welcome to
How are you?
Be considerate to your fellow travelers. Do not lock doors.
Buddy.
Now arriving. Kisa Spaceport. Please watch your step when disembarking the train. Hurston Security reserves the right to search travelers. Your behavior immediately to Hurston Security.
Tell me, any news?
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Dividing my time between the 4 planets has been interesting. It's like seeing 4 different approaches to capitalism.
Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
I've heard, stranger, if you can believe that. I need solid ground under my feet.
4 different versions of
Please visit us again.
capitalism, they say.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Have you been? Speak your truth, friend.
Star Citizen reported to UK authorities.
Sinclair has reported CIG to the UK authorities over a paint job on a spaceship. This would typically be too nerdy a topic to get into, but when you
again. Goodbye. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Still, you might be a little surprised when your paint doesn't match what you saw in the store if you happen to apply it to the smaller single-seater Hornet. Until now, Heartseeker was always the bigger Super Hornet, but if you have the regular Hornet and they don't make that distinction on the site, you know what you're buying functionally but not visually. The image does show you what you do get if you apply it to the same ship, just not what you get when you apply it to the smaller one. The easiest way to remedy this and what they should have done from jump is just include both the Hornet and Super Hornet in the picture with the Heartseeker kit applied. I don't think his report to the authorities and requested gesture of goodwill are going to go the way he thinks they are. If he's actually gone ahead and reported this to the ASA, this is what will happen. Somebody at the ASA will have to review it.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.